That giant tub of protein powder you paid $60 for? There's a good chance up to a third of it is just air and cheap fillers. The protein industry is built on making you think more is better. But what they're not telling you is that the number on the front of the tub is often the most misleading part of the package. We tested dozens, so you don't have to waste your money.
First, let's talk about the powders that hide behind a healthy halo. You see them everywhere. Skip any protein that calls itself a diet or lean formula. We looked at 5 top sellers in this category, and the story was the same. A low dose of mediocre protein bulked up with artificial sweeteners, gums to make it feel thick, and a sprinkle of a fat-burning blend that does absolutely nothing. You're paying a premium for marketing, not results. And on the other end, skip the mass gainers unless you are a competitive bodybuilder under specific instruction. Brands like Goliath Gainer are often just sugar and cheap maltodextrin with some low-quality whey concentrate mixed in. You can get the same effect by mixing a regular scoop of protein with a banana and some oats for a fraction of the price. The real trap, though, isn't the sugar bombs, it's the powders that claim to be the cleanest on the market.
So what actually works? You need to look for the boring tubs. Save on a third-party tested whey protein isolate like Thorne or Now Sports Unflavored. Look for the NSF Certified for Sport or Informed Sport logo on the tub. This means an independent company has verified that what's on the label is actually what's in the tub, and it isn't contaminated with anything harmful. No fillers, no junk, just pure protein. It's not sexy, but it works. For a slower digesting option before bed or between meals, save on a pure micellar casein. Again, find a brand that prizes transparency over hype. The goal here is a simple ingredient list: micellar casein, maybe some sunflower lecithins that help it mix, and that's it. You're buying a tool for your nutrition, not a dessert. But this brings up the biggest myth in the entire protein aisle.
Here's the thing you need to understand. The industry wants you to fixate on the big number on the front, 30 grams of protein. But that number is useless if the source is garbage. This is especially true for plant-based proteins. So the big reframe is this: stop looking at the protein count first and start looking at the ingredient list. This is why you absolutely skip any plant protein with a proprietary blend. That's a trick to hide the fact that they're using 90% cheap, low-quality rice protein and only a sprinkle of the good stuff like pea or pumpkin seed protein. You also skip any brand that lists a grain or flour as one of its first 3 ingredients. You're not paying $60 for organic rice flour. This brings me to a friend of mine. My friend spent $80 on a tub of this trendy brand. Let's call it Green Vibe Organics. The influencer ads were everywhere. It promised 25 grams of protein, gut-healing enzymes, adaptogens, the works. For 2 weeks, he complained about constant bloating and how the stuff tasted like chalky grass. He finally showed me the tub. I turned it over, and the first ingredient was organic sprouted brown rice protein. The second was a blend of 7 different gums. He was paying luxury prices for a tub of thickener and a protein source that's notoriously difficult to digest and isn't a complete protein on its own. He switched to our final save, a multi-source plant protein from a transparent brand like Vega Sport or Garden of Life. These clearly list the blend: pea, pumpkin seed, sunflower seed, creating a complete amino acid profile. They cost less and actually work. And that brings us to our final skip: any protein powder endorsed by a reality TV star. Just don't. So here's what it all comes down to. Most products are not as good as their marketing, and this is especially true for supplements. The next time you're in that aisle, ignore the front of the tub completely. Turn it around and ask yourself one question: am I paying for protein or am I paying for promises?